everyone. Happy Saturday. Jo here of SportsGrid. It's time for a Puck It with Jo. Only one game out there on the ice today. We saw two fantastic closeout games last night, game sixes, the Florida Panthers and the Dallas Stars able to get things done. Now, the Dallas Stars had to go to double overtime versus the Colorado Avalanche in a game where we had the goal taken back in the first overtime by the Dallas Stars. They ended up getting that goal in the second overtime, and they just clearly played the better game out there. I did expect more out of Colorado, but they weren't able to get things done. And the Florida Panthers closing it out versus the Boston Bruins. I sure hope you guys took my advice and live bet Florida once it went down in that game. Boston came out scoring first, which was the storyline of this series. Boston was able to come out, get those goals quick on Florida, and then Florida rallied back to get the win. So both of those series are finished, and we will see the Florida Panthers taking on the New York Rangers. Now, currently, the Rangers are the underdog in that series. It's going to be an absolute battle between those two. I'm looking for overtimes to come into play. And you've got to think we might see a little bit of rust coming out of the gate between these two in game one. Both of these teams not playing until Wednesday. You look at the time off for the Rangers and the time off for the Florida Panthers. And what happened with the Florida Panthers after time off versus the Boston Bruins in that game one. So I am expecting fireworks in that first game between these two, but I do think things settle down in defense and goaltending will be the storyline of that series. When we look at the Dallas Stars, they will face the winner of tonight's series here with the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks. So let's jump straight into this one here. We're looking at the Vancouver Canucks coming in as the underdog. Now, currently over on FanDuel, we have the Vancouver Canucks coming in at plus 162. Disrespectful line here after Vancouver is up 3-2 in this series. Now, these teams have traded back wins and losses. So if you're going with that pattern, it would be Edmonton to get the win, almost a $2 favorite at minus 196 currently. That total sitting at 6.5, minus 124 to the under, and plus 102 to the over. When we look at Vancouver in this one, I do think their backs are up against the wall just as much as the Edmonton Oilers. I struggle here not to take Vancouver with that beautiful plus money at plus 162. I do think if they don't win this one tonight, Edmonton will finish it off in Vancouver in game 7. You give Edmonton the momentum here after game 6. I do think Vancouver will choke game 7 away at home. And we are seeing these teams close it out on the road. So I like Vancouver's opportunity here at plus 164. I think there is a value. Now, when we look at these teams and what other prop bets I'm liking in this one, other than Vancouver, straight up on that money line, you got to look at Vancouver's ability to get those shots on goal. We saw that game that they needed to play in game 5 where they came out clearly motivated to get the win on their home ice after Rick Tocchet had really ripped this team apart out there, calling out the big guys without actually saying their names. So we did get a lot more out of Elias Pettersson, probably his best playoff game in the last one. JT Miller stepping up as well. And we know JT Miller was able to score that goal with 33 seconds left on the ice to get the win over the Edmonton Oilers. Now, I do think this is another game that will go to overtime. So betting this game to go to overtime, coming in right around plus 360. I'm expecting these two teams to completely battle this one out tonight. When we look at the physicality between these two teams, Vancouver is actually being the more physical of the teams, and they've been able to kill off in that last game all of Edmonton's power play attempts, which is absolutely key. Now, Vancouver has to play clean. They can't get in the box in this game. They weren't able to convert on the power play either, so both of these defenses really stepping up and playing strong. I do think this game comes down to those shots on goal, and it's a numbers game here for me for those shots on goal between these two teams, with which team will get the win. And I'm expecting Vancouver to play the very similar game than they did in the last one. So I'm going to look for Vancouver to come out and get 10 plus shots in that first period. That's coming in at plus 118. Now you can also look at them in the second period. In the last game, they had 11 shots in the first period. In the second period, they had 17. I expect those shots, but on FanDuel, they're not giving us a second period number yet for Vancouver. But I do think it will be their second period. We'll see that dominant force out of them again in this one. Like I said, 17 in the last, but I do like going into this game 10 plus in that first period. They had 11 in the last game. When I'm looking at playmakers to get those goals on the board, it's hard in this one. We have seen these third string goaltenders really step up between Silos and Calvin Pickett. Now, I don't know if it's going to be Calvin Pickett or Stuart Skinner in net. And Edmonton talking about getting some fresh legs out there on the ice. So I'm going to be very cautious playing any player props here for the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid is way too highly juiced. So if you're looking for playmakers from Edmonton, Leon Draisaitl is who I definitely would circle. You can take him for the 2+ points. That's coming in at plus 102. His anytime goal at plus 110 and his 3+ shots on goal at minus 102. I do think he is impactful enough that I would feel confident in the shots and the anytime goal for Leon Draisaitl. We know that he can score on the power play. We know Connor McDavid's been feeding him the puck. So I do think solid way to look if you're wanting to back Edmonton props. If you're looking to back Vancouver props, JT Miller was so impactful in that last game. I have to look at him for his shots on goal. The 3 shots on goal, 3 or more, or some books say over 2.5 shots, that's coming in at plus 100. And JT Miller for the anytime goal to continue with momentum at plus 195. You have to think that Edmonton is going to be all over JT Miller, though, in this one, especially after hearing his name chanted in Vancouver. So I am cautious with his goal, but I do like his 2.5 to the over shots on goal in this game. Now, finding value for a player for that anytime goal. Nikita Zadorov here of the Vancouver Canucks, his anytime goal plus 950. Offensive defenseman that we know can score on the Edmonton Oilers and at plus 950. Sign me up all day long, you guys. I also like his shots on goal over 1.5 shots. So he just has to record 2 or more shots on net tonight. That's coming in at minus 122. I'm then going to also look at Elias Pettersson here of the Vancouver Canucks. Over 2.5 shots on goal. We're getting that plus money with Elias Pettersson. He played his best game last game, and I don't see him taking his foot off the gas in this one. Over 2.5 shots on goal for him coming in at plus 142. And then Quinn Hughes. I think Quinn Hughes can be impactful out here, the captain for the Vancouver Canucks. I take him for those 3+ shots on goal as well. He's also coming in at plus 122. You guys, it's going to be a hot night out there on the ice. I can hardly wait for this one to kick off. Skinner in net. Give me Vancouver's team total to the over. I don't trust Stuart Skinner as far as I can throw him, and that wouldn't be far. We're going to look at Vancouver's team total now that we know it's Stuart Skinner. The Vancouver Canucks over 2.5 goals in this one, coming in at minus 122. Sign me up all day long. I expect Skinner to be peppered by the Vancouver Canucks tonight. He's just not a goaltender I have faith in. And again, that overtime coming in at plus 360. We know Edmonton's going to find a way to score on their home ice as well, but it's in Vancouver that I have the faith. So their team total over 2.5 minus 122. The money line here for the Vancouver Canucks at plus 162. And the overtime bet at plus 360. And all of those shots on goal and player props. I'm playing this game big, you guys. Super excited for this one tonight. Now, I will be live on In-Game Live on SportsGrid with Scott Wetzel. So make sure you come over and join us. We'll be talking this. We'll be talking NBA, MLB, the horses, everything that is going on, golf as well. So make sure you come on over and join us. Happy Saturday, Kev. Let's make some freaking money out there today, you guys. All the best in all of your bets. I will see you back here tomorrow. Make sure you turn on those notifications so you know when I'm going live. Bye, guys.